Greetings, Gray Paladin here with a review of my SaberForge Vanquish. Let me start by saying that this saber is incredible. I absolutely love this saber. It is my favorite, it is my pride and joy, and let's go ahead and get to it. Starting with some dimensions, from the edge of the claw to the base of the pommel, it has a length of 15¼ inches. And that's going across the entire base length, not up the curve. It has a grip width of 1¾ inches. This particular saber, I got a transparent gold powder coat, and that was applied on every area of the saber that once had silver on there. It included a brass CoverTech wheel, and I believe that was matched to go with the gold powder coat on the saber. The pommel is different from what you see. You cannot get it on adaptive saber parts, and you don't see this pommel anywhere else on SaberForge or on any other maker. So it is unique in that regard, which I like very much. More about this pommel, which I'll get into later, but as you can see, it does have 5 vented holes, small holes and 1 large hole in the center. However, this does hinder some of the sound that comes out. So even at the volume at 100, the volume on this saber is a little subdued compared to other sabers. On the claw emitter, it has 4 windows. And something else to add about this is it gives you additional options, at least in my opinion. It does have 3 screws here, but toying around with this saber, you can remove this claw by removing those 3 screws up top. For the sake of time in this video, I've removed the 2 on the outer side and just left the one in the center. This claw comes off, which gives you more aesthetic options when you look at the saber. You still have your 4 windows there and no claw. Now watch this. If you remove this screw on the bottom, you can reattach the claw on the underside of the saber, which gives it another look, a little more aggressive. So if I attach the claw on the bottom and then put that screw, that center bottom screw, back on, now I have a slightly different look with the claw on the underbelly of the saber. Now, I'm not huge on looking at screws on a saber, so I'm eventually going to get some brass screws to help accent or blend in better, actually, with the saber. For instance, these screws that are on the side, here and here, making those either a flush mount screw or making them brass, so that way it just blends in a little bit better. But now, as you can see, I have a slightly different look on the saber with the claw on the bottom, which I think looks pretty cool. So this saber has a lot of personality to it, and honestly, I think it kind of looks like a snake with the claw in there. That's one thing I really like about this saber, is just how much character it has to it. Now, the grip is very, very smooth. There's some ridges here that gives you a nice quality grip within the curve. There are no sharp edges on this whatsoever when you're feeling the saber itself. Now, the tip of the claw here, you could do some damage. You could murder someone with that if you thrust it hard enough. So that's one thing to be careful about, are those claws. They're a little bit sharp, and I would be careful with how you use that. However, when the blade is in, not an issue, because the blade is preventing those claws from making contact with you, because you won't have access to those claws with the length of the blade in. So now I'm going to put the shroud emitter, or emitter shroud, back up top where it belongs. But I just want to give you a view of what it looks like to have no emitter shroud or have it in different positions. And I just think that's really cool that you have that option with this saber. Now, this saber is very comfortable to hold. However, and I know it took me a little bit of time to get this review up, and the reason why is because when it comes to spinning the saber, and this is my first curved hilt, it took me a little bit to get used to. The forward spins on this saber are comfortable and very easy. The weight of it, also, if you are spinning forward, the curve in the hilt pretty much makes it so that it's not going to interrupt or bump your wrist. So you have a lot of work and play in there if you're going to spin this saber. As you're doing all those spins, that curve in the hilt will not bump any part of your wrist or your arm when it's going forward. Now, I will admit that doing a reverse spin does feel awkward. That took a lot for me to get used to, and honestly, it's still not quite as fluid and doesn't have as much finesse as if I had a straight hilt. However, I still very much enjoy spinning and using this saber. This saber sits on my coffee table. I get up in the morning, I ignite it, I spin it. I get home from work, I spin it. I watch TV, I just grab it and spin it. This is an awesome saber, and I highly recommend it. Now, the next thing about this saber is one hand versus two hand. So I'm a lefty, but I also wield with my right hand too. I like to try to be as ambidextrous as possible. Now, obviously most curved hilts are meant to be held with one hand. This does give you plenty of room to hold it with two, as you can see. Close grip, far grip, it doesn't matter. You have that space in there. I find that when you hold it close to the windows, to the shroud, it's a little easier to get some of your spins in, but it's a little more comfortable in the hand when you hold it down in the curved grip there. This came with, I got Champion tier soundboard, so you can have 3 sound fonts loaded on there. I did the light side just because I like that traditional hum in there. Now as I ignite this, you can hear how the volume, it may sound loud in the video, but as I remove the pommel, you can hear how much louder that is, at least to my ear. We'll see how it is in the camera or in the video. But this pommel is so nice. I mean, the powder coat that's on this, the design of that pommel, it's just great. I mean, it's unmatched. So as soon as I put that back on there, that sound is a little bit muffled. There's your blade windows. Of course, we have blaster deflection. You have lockup. There it is. And you also have your force abilities. And your clash. I will now put a blade in. The LED is an amber color, and I also have an amber day blade to go with that. I ordered it specifically for this saber. I also ordered this from the custom saber shop. It has that brass tip, and it really looks nice inside here, that brass on gold look. So standard trans white blade. Of course, you have all of your flickers and different shimmers, and this can fully customizable and can be updated on the SaberCore 3 software. And now with the amber day blade. Now this enhanced day blade gives you such a nice rich color, which you don't necessarily get out of the white. And you can see that reflecting on the table too, just that nice glow and that amber color. It's very warm. It's much warmer with that day blade in. And then with the white, you can see it's just doesn't glow against the table quite as well as that enhanced day blade does. I'm going to give you another up-close and in-depth look of this saber just because I love it so much. This saber is incredible. I'll start at the base of the pommel. That curved grip is very nice. Makes it very easy to duel with, actually, especially if you use two hands on this saber. And the reason why is if you grip towards the top and you get ready to strike and you pull with that opposite hand, that pull with the curve allows me to make contact a bit worth it. I absolutely love this saber. It is my absolute favorite in my collection, and I'm very happy to share it with you. More sabers are coming along the way, so I would very much appreciate your like and subscription, and that way you can keep up to date with all the new sabers and videos that I have coming your way. Thank you very much for watching, as always. Gray Paladin out. May the Force be with you.